I think there's some significant challenges for us this year, Jim. We've graduated another outstanding class as we have over the past 3 years, and we've got a group of seniors who have done a great job helping us win 31 games over the last 6 seasons, but quite a few of those guys haven't had a lot of experience on the field yet because of some of the players that were ahead of them. I love the way, though, the senior class approached the spring. They came out, worked tremendously hard in our off-season program. I thought had great springs, and a lot of those kids may be getting their first opportunity to play varsity football this year. And part of our tradition at Lehigh has been when you become a senior, things kind of change for you. I've seen a lot of seniors at Lehigh who haven't played much football before, but get to their senior year and do a great job. So I'm certainly counting on those guys to provide great leadership and help us through, some of the inexperience issues that may rise. But we've graduated some really good players last year, and I think as we went through the spring, we started to get some questions answered, and we've got a lot more questions that need to be answered here in the next month or so, but we're looking forward to that. Brandon Bilkowski falls into that group of the seniors that haven't really had the opportunity, and he got really his opportunity during spring practice, and I think as a coaching staff to the man, we were thrilled with how he grabbed the reins and the job that he did, leading offense for us in the springtime. He's a senior. Behind him, we've got Matt McHale, Gerard Poudier as juniors, rising juniors. I think both of those kids did some good things. Matt is very similar to Mike Colvin, he's certainly one way we could go. And then we do have a freshman, Nick Shafniski, who's a local product of the Lehigh Valley from Whitehall High School, was co-MVP of the Lehigh Valley Conference, which I think is one of the stronger conferences in the state of Pennsylvania. So we're excited to have Nick join in the program, but it's a hard thing for a young kid to take the reins. We're hoping to bring Nick along and allow him to learn and develop, as we did with Chris and as we did with Michael. As I sit here today, Brandon's is the leader in the clubhouse, so to speak, as being the starting quarterback. But I want there to be some competition, and we'll name a starting quarterback, probably a few weeks before the season starts.
In spring, they had a great spring. They had an outstanding spring. Defense actually had a tough time stopping them in the spring, minus the spring game, they have a lot of weapons out there, There's a couple quarterbacks competing for a spot, Brandon and Matt McHale are both fine quarterbacks that we both have confidence in, and then there's a freshman coming in that can compete as well. And then they have a lot of weapons, with Keith Sherman back there, Rich Sodekay, and people like Josh at the wide receiver spot, stepping up for Ryan Spadola leaving, and Derek Gall and Derek Knott. The list goes on and on about who can step up and fill the spot, and they're all ready when it's time for their number to be called on. So that's the important thing, and they all have that confidence that they can make the play and that they can be the guy.
It's incredibly important, and I think we've got. I think our players did an outstanding job in selecting Nigel and Keith Sherman and Tyler Ward and Lee Kerfis, who are our other two captains who weren't here today. We value leadership at Lehigh, particularly in our athletic department and certainly on our football team. I think probably the most visible form of leadership at Lehigh University are the football captains. And we've been blessed over the last 3 years just to have tremendous leadership. And, some people kind of just talk about it, but I mean, it's really, really important to us. And these guys are great leaders. They did a great job in the spring, and I'm really counting on them to continue to do a great job as we move through a long and challenging football season.
Yeah, I've had a great pass leaders to kind of show me the way. And I can remember outside linebacker a few years back, Colin Newton was one of the big leaders to me. And one of the things he taught me was just to shoot for the stars, man. And he kind of was, in my eyes, one of the first guys that kind of put out the idea of winning past the Patriot League, you know, competing at a national level and trying to win a national championship. And ever since then, we've had that hunger to do something like that and put that out there, that we're not just satisfied with trying to win the Patriot League championship. And Gerard Gordon is one of the biggest leaders for me too, as well as last year, one of the senior leaders. And he just kind of grew me into becoming a leader. Whether it's the little things that he taught me. I got to room with him when we traveled, so anything I could pick up from him, I could. Whether it's how to talk to teammates or whether it's showing by example, leading by example. If you're going to say something, you have to also do it and back it up. So I've learned a lot from a lot of leaders, and I've been blessed to have that opportunity and have that group behind me. And I hope to do the same in the future with other leaders. One of our biggest things is always swarm and passion and getting to the ball as a group. So that's one of the key things that we need to keep on doing moving forward. Stepping up, we have a lot of defensive backs coming back. Ricky Hill and Tyler Ward at the safety position are definitely, key guys that we expect to lead the secondary, along with Courtney Jarvis and Damian Brown. And then at the outside linebacker position, you got a guy backing me up, Matt Lobb. He's a great stud, great freshman coming in, and he'll be a sophomore now, and he has a lot of potential. And the names go on and on. We really have a lot of confidence in our front three with Timmy Newton and Arturo Giles and Ricky Layton, working out and being in the trenches. And then the biggest position in the field, I think, it would be the insides. We have a great competition going on there with Cody Raup and Cody Condis and Jashawn Mitchell and Noah Robb and guys like that. And a lot of the freshmen coming in. A lot of the freshmen working out with them this summer. There's been a lot of freshmen up and a lot of inside linebacker freshmen, and they're all pretty hungry to get after it and to compete for a position as well.
Well, I think the league is just, every year I've said this, this league is becoming more and more competitive. I think there's, number one, I'll start with the coaching staffs in this league. There's outstanding coaching from top to bottom. There are very good football players from top to bottom in this league. There are talented kids at every position: O-line, D-line, secondary, quarterbacks, running backs, you name it. So coaches do a great job preparing their teams, and we get to compete like heck on Saturdays. But it's just, there's so many games are a fine line. Last year at 10-1, we could have easily been a 500 football team. Our kids found a way to win games. And I think that if we're successful this year, that's going to be the same way. We're going to, do the little things right, to allow you to win football games.